This is ABC 7 News, Chicago's #1 news, with Jose Sanders, Judy Sue, weather with meteorologist Tracy Butler, and Roz Barron's traffic. This is ABC 7 News this morning.
And how President Obama's health care reform affects you, even if you already have insurance. Open enrollment for health care will begin in a year and a half now that the Supreme Court has upheld most of President Obama's health care law. Starting in 2014, insurance companies will not be able to turn away people with a history of medical problems or charge them more. People under 26 years of age can remain on their parents' health care plan. Also, there will be no limits on how much policies pay out. Republicans vow to keep fighting that plan.
Right now, attorney Thomas Glasgow joins us with a closer look at the ruling because there are still so many questions surrounding this. Good morning. Nice to have you here.
Good morning to both of you.
So, Thomas, the key part of the ruling, the insurance mandate, was upheld. Did that surprise you?
It actually did. The Supreme Court justices have been split into two blocks. You have a liberal block and you have a conservative block. Justice Roberts is one of those, as the Chief Justice, that has been labeled a conservative, big C or small c, however you want to put it, with the conservative bloc. He voted with the liberal bloc to allow this health care package to continue, which was a surprise to most legal scholars and a surprise to most conservatives because they felt that he was going to be voting with this particular bloc. This is not unusual for Supreme Court justices that are voted or that are confirmed. If you remember, in the Warren Court, who was put on there by Eisenhower, a staunch Republican, Warren turned and became someone who was not ideologically the same as Eisenhower.
Well, I was hearing somebody say yesterday that Justice Roberts, in effect, rewrote the whole thing with this addition.
You know, that is true because they relied on the Commerce Clause. Essentially, what Congress was doing was saying, we have the power to regulate commerce, interstate commerce, throughout the United States. And we're saying we can force you to go ahead and buy insurance if that is within commerce. The court said, no, that's not something that you can do because these people aren't engaged in interstate commerce. You can't force you or any of the viewers to end up engaging in interstate commerce. So that's an illegal act. The federal government is supposed to be one of limited power. So what Justice Roberts did was he essentially said, well, Congress has a taxing power. And since this is, quote unquote, a penalty, we're not going to read it as a penalty. We're going to read it as a tax. And since it's a tax, it's a lawful extension of the constitutional power of Congress to tax people.
And that is opening up the bigger question right now is, does this now set a precedent for the government to tax us for various, things we do or not do?
That is a huge question because you've now extended the power of Congress and the federal government to tax you for any action or inaction that they may choose to do. Justice Roberts, in his opinion, said, look, this is not the purpose of the court to protect the electorate from the choices of their political choices or the results of their political choices. That's not our job. Our job is just to define the law, which was a very pragmatic, long-term view for the court. And I think it reestablished a lot of people's faith in the court to not go in and completely rewrite laws. But it is very fascinating. How far is this going to go? What kind of power are they going to have?
Well, we know the fight's far from over.
That's true. That's for sure.
Thanks, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas, for
Thank you,
coming in
guys.
this morning. It is 6:07 right now. Time for us to check.